What's up, guys? It's your pal Ben here with Twig Cycles in Hagerstown, Maryland. Today we're going to be checking out two very similar models. We have a 2023 Triumph Bonneville T100 and a 2023 Triumph Speed Twin 900. So we're going to check them out and just kind of break them both down. So to be very specific with you, this is actually a 2023 Triumph Street Twin 900. Moving forward into 2023 and further years, they're going to be the Speed Twin 900. Now, both the Bonneville T100 and the Speed Twin 900 share the same exact engine and transmission between the two. But as you can see, we have our traditional Bonneville look, which has the flat board tracker seat, the parallel twin motor, the badged tank with the knee pads, the dual gauges up on the handlebar cluster. And if you move over to the Speed Twin, also known as the Street Twin 900, we have a little bit more of a modernized, kind of a neo-retro look. So again, to kind of summarize a couple things, both bikes run the Triumph 900cc parallel twin motor. These are liquid-cooled motors, so they're fuel-injected, liquid-cooled parallel twin 900s, putting out roughly 64 horsepower. Both bikes are putting out 64 horsepower, the same identical motor, roughly 59 foot-pounds of torque, which is actually proudly posted right on Triumph's website. Believe it or not, both bikes actually have the same size wheels and tires on these. They come outfitted with a 100 by 90 by 18 front tire and a 150 70/17 rear tire. Obviously, with the Bonneville being more of that traditional British Bonneville that you've come to know and love, has the spoked rims. And if we move over to the Speed Twin, also known as the Street Twin, we have our cast rims. So we have a cast wheel in the Speed Twin 900 and spoked rims on our Bonneville T100, and of course on the T120 as well. We've talked about some of the similarities. Let's start breaking the bikes down and talking about some of the differences. All right, so on your Bonneville T100, there's my buddy Josh there in the background. He's trying to get out of the way. On the Bonneville T100s, all right, you have a 3.8 gallon tank, roughly 500 pounds. These are 503 wet weight to be exact, 503 pounds. Seat height on the Bonneville is coming in at 31.1 inches, 31.1 inches seat height on the Bonneville. Again, a little bit different seat, something to keep in mind, because seat height isn't always the telltale factor. Sometimes it can be the width of the seat. Moving over to our Speed Twin, again, also known as the Street Twin 900. The Speed Twin 900 is offering you a 30.1 inch seat height, 30.1. And again, a little bit different seat design here, not quite that Bonneville board tracker seat. You have the pleats coming through here, so a little bit different style, a little bit different seating arrangement here. On your Speed Twin 900, this is a 3.2 gallon tank. So over on the Bonneville, you have a 3.8 gallon tank, 503 pounds, with a 31.1 inch seat height. And on your Speed Twin 900, it's got a 3.2 gallon tank coming in at 476 pounds wet weight. So 476 pounds with a 30.1 inch seat height. Obviously, we have a couple different styles going on here. We have more of that traditional British Triumph Bonneville look that you have come to know and love for many, many years. And then around 2016, 2017, Triumph introduced what they were calling the Street Twin series. So the Street Twins were basically three different models that had the same motor, the same transmission, and the same chassis. All they did was change a few style points. If you go back to 2017, they had the Street Cup, the Street Twin, and the Street Scrambler. A little bit of food for thought. The Street Scrambler is actually going to soon be called the Scrambler 900. On your Street Twin, you'll notice we have a little bit different gauge cluster, a little bit more of a modern, kind of a neo-retro type gauge cluster here. And up on our handlebar, we have our info button and our mode button, turn signals and horn, and of course your headlights are up there as well. So if I go through the info button here, let me focus in. I'm gonna go through our info button. It's gonna go through, you got your fuel, got your time right there, your RPM, stuff like that. There's your traction control. These do have traction control, which you can turn on and off. They both have traction control you can turn on and off. And then it takes you to the odometer. The one thing I do want to point out though, what sets the Speed Twin 900 apart from the Bonneville, one small thing. These actually have, if you look closely, we have rain mode and road mode. So not only do you have traction control, which you can turn on and off, you also have a rain map and a road map. And what that's going to do, it's obviously going to change the characteristic of your traction control. It's going to change the characteristic of your throttle mapping as well. Obviously, as far as your bars, a little bit of similarities. These are more of like a, we'll say kind of like a board tracker bar almost, kind of like a tracker bar. Again, we have just a hair over a 3-gallon tank. Got the nice pleated leather seat. Again, this is a 900cc parallel twin liquid-cooled fuel-injected engine. Has a wonderful sound. We have preload adjustable shocks on the back end of this thing, just like we do on the Bonneville T100 as well. Working our way around, you can see we have a little bit different style turn signals, a little bit different style tail light. And actually, it sounds like, I'll be honest with you, Triumph remapped the mufflers on these things. This street twin actually has a little bit more of a growl to it than what the Bonneville does. The Bonneville has more of that, obviously, that elegant Bonneville parallel twin sound to it with those beautiful pea shooter pipes. This has a little bit more of a growl to it. So, you know, kind of fitting to that more neo-retro, kind of a throwback but modernized type motorcycle. And of course, I'm going to scoop up here to the front here. You can see we got the fork gators right there, fork covers. The turn signals here, a little bit different style than what we see on our Bonneville. And obviously we have the headlight bucket there. So just a little bit more of a modern take on our Bonneville. Now, something that's kind of cool, I think this is why Triumph is actually moving away from calling these the Street Series, because you can get the Speed Twin not only in this 900, but you can also get the Speed Twin 1200, which packs way more punch, a little bit more of an aggressive style, way more horsepower and way more torque. I'm going to move away from the Speed Twin 900 for the moment, and we're going to focus here on the beautiful blue and orange two-tone Bonneville T100. I absolutely love this color scheme. It's very classy. I think with the blacked out engine, it kind of gives it a little bit more of that modern touch. Everybody likes that blacked out look, but obviously it gives this a classic touch with that beautiful two-tone scheme. And of course, we have some elegant touches like the pea shooter pipes. We get the Lucas style taillight right there. A little bit of a throwback piece right there. Got the badged Bonneville T100 there on the side cover. Beautiful badging down here. Triumph does a great job with their branding, putting the T wherever they can find it. They also did it up here on the spark plug cover as well. Pretty cool. So, and then of course we got our knee pads right there and the traditional Triumph logo, which you can see right there on the tank as well. This is a 3.8 gallon tank, just a hair larger than what you'll find on the Speed Twin 900. Now, moving into the Bonneville T100, you'll see stylistically a little bit more of a throwback taste. We have our spoked rims, same size wheel and tires what's on the Speed Twin 900, but we have our spoked rims. Again, you do have still preload adjustable rear shocks on this, no adjustments on the front. And speaking of the front, again, got the spoke rims on here, and we also have more of that traditional style fender. I'm working our way up here just to kind of show you what the cockpit looks like. Now, interestingly enough, what they did on the T100 to kind of keep costs down a little bit, even though the Speed Twin 900 has your traction control and your power modes, this does not have power modes. This only has the road map, which you can see. I don't have a mode button here to press and change that. Although if I go through my info button here, you do have a traction control setting, which you can turn that on and off, which is pretty cool. Really on this bike, this is a nice, elegant bike. You take this out and cruise on it. It's great for maybe doing some commuting, you know, maybe some weekend warrior type stuff. These are both only 5 speeds, not the 6 speeds like what you see in the 1200s, but these are just kind of great bikes to kind of cruise around on. So there's really no need to be turning the traction control off, but they give you the option to do so. And again, I want to touch on the gauge cluster up here. Obviously, a little bit more of that throwback British style. You got the dual gauge cluster up here. You have your speed up here and your tachometer right there on the right-hand side. Obviously, your info buttons here are going to show you your odometer. It's going to show you your fuel range until you're completely empty. You get your fuel gauge right there on the left-hand side. On your speedometer side, you have some indicator lights just letting you know these are fuel-injected bikes. So it's going to let you know if there's something going on internally, if there's any kind of issues. The lights are blinking just because we're sitting still. That's okay. So you can kind of flick through. If I hit the info button here, you can kind of flick through on your odometer there. Get your trip 1, trip 2, your MPGs, average MPGs, get your time right there, traction control on or off. So those are kind of your big differences between the Bonneville T100 and your Triumph Speed Twin 900. previously known as the Street Twin 900s. These are going to be called the Speed Twin 900s moving forward. So I'm going to summarize on a couple similarities here. Okay, these are both 5-speed transmissions, both liquid-cooled, fuel-injected, parallel twin 900s, putting out roughly 64 horsepower, 59 foot-pounds of torque. It's a very confidence-boosting motorcycle. Both these are very confidence-boosting. These aren't anything that's going to throw you off the back. They're very elegant motorcycles. They're great to ride. They're fun to ride, and they're incredibly smooth. They're incredibly agile. They're just a blast to ride. Your Bonneville T100, you got a 31.1-inch seat height, 57.1-inch wheelbase with a 25.5-degree rake. 3.8 gallon tank coming in at 503 pounds. And then on your Speed Twin 900, you got a 30.1-inch seat height, 57.1-inch wheelbase, same as the Bonneville. You got a 25.1-degree rake coming in at 476 pounds. You got a 3.2 gallon tank, so slightly smaller tank. So basically what they did was they took the T100 and shrunk just a few features on this bike. That's all they did. That is kind of a wrap up on the 2023 Bonneville T100 and our Triumph Speed Twin 900. I keep wanting to call it the Street Twin because I've owned one of these actually. I keep wanting to call it the Street Twin and the Street Cup, but these are going to be called the Speed Twin 900. So we got the Speed Twin 900 and our Bonneville T100 as well. So that's kind of a wrap up on both these model comparisons. We got some similarities. We have some differences between the two, just subtle differences between the two. But if there's something that maybe you guys know that I didn't point out, please leave that in the comment section below. Please point that out. If there's something that, if you've owned these bikes and have had them for quite a few years and have put in, a couple thousand miles on them, please point that out. Put your reviews in the comment section below because I want to hear what you think as a rider. And obviously future owners want to know what you have to say as well. So yeah, I'm going to get back to work here, guys. It's been about 30 minutes, so I think they're going to be looking for me here pretty shortly. So I'm going to get back into the store here. If you guys got any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. I'm happy to answer. You can always reach out to us at 301-739-2773. And your buddy Ben is out of here.